Episode 8.
Thanks, mate.
What's the date today?
5th of July,
2024.
Friday, episode 8.
Episode 8. We're back
Back
again.
into it.
Regular track scene.
Yep. Sure are. I don't know, a bit of a muddled intro. So
Yeah.
no, I'll take charge. So Friday, I said Friday the 5th of July, episode 8. We're here. We've got a couple starts today, a couple K15s under geared, and then we're into some of our longer efforts now. So pushing out our moto push efforts to 2.5 laps, just trying to get a bit of that exposure to some of that length stuff and length work that we need for the kilo that we're working towards. And yeah, that's where we're at. We're finished week 3 of gym. This is also week 1, I believe, of track. So it's a bit over the place, but we're feeling pretty good, I would say. We're in a good spot. Probably some other stresses and fatigue factors are kind of coming in this week, I feel like, but we're still heading in the right direction. We're still very much optimistic and positive when it comes to our training sessions and all the work that we're doing, but also just kind of being aware of underlying stress and stresses with everything that we're doing as well, and just kind of acknowledging that and you know, not letting it get in the way, but also not pushing it and sweeping it under the rug and say that no, there's nothing there. It's just being aware, acknowledge, accept, and we've had a bit of a discussion around that too, and I think that's an important thing for us to kind of discuss and check in with one another to make sure that we're both doing well in these moments so that we can come out and have a quality training session and, like you said, finish the week off on a very good note.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's really important that we've had some quality debriefs today, even before that session. It's good to get those thoughts, feelings, emotions, like put them on the table, but also be able to put them aside in a session like this. And I said it just before, and it's back to that focus on one rep at a time.
Yeah.
I think mindfulness can be a real anchor in times like this, because it is pretty challenging to look ahead at what's around the corner, but just focusing on just today, just Friday afternoon, just the couple of starts, just the 2.5 lap efforts.
Yeah, exactly right.
So you can see how, like, when you start blowing it up and looking further down the line, it starts to look a bit scary, but we've just got a couple of starts for now.
That's it. So we got a couple starts, couple 2.5 lap efforts. We're done. We get the weekend off, a weekend of recovery, and then that's it. So yeah, we'll wrap this up now. We'll get stuck into efforts. So 2 to 3 K15s and maybe a quarter lap under geared, and then we'll get into the longer stuff, which will be a fun one. Kind of get that lactic acid burning, and we'll be probably rolling around the floor, I reckon.
Oh yeah,
lots of pain.
We love it. We love it.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you in the gate, hey?
All right, see you in a sec. Done. No, that felt fine, but like I said, I just felt stuff moving.
Oh yeah.
But these feel, like, I don't feel anything with this. Like the movement didn't feel here. It felt like it was coming from back there or whatever. You're up?
Yeah. You?
Yeah. All right, try again.
Yeah.
Done. set one of starts are completed. Not our best stuff, but that's not bad as well. Just more technical work today was the goal of it. So just working on a few bits and pieces, and you can almost just treat it as like potentiation, activation for the actual true work of today, which is what we're about to do now, which is the moto push 680, so two and a half laps. Just go out and have a bit of a rip. How'd you feel with the starts?
Yeah, I mean, slightly different sensations on a smaller gear, so we'll dial that back in for next week. But like you say, the full focus now is on the length.
Yep.
So bring on the next little bit of fun.
All right, let's go.
Yep.
It's time. And go. Down. Yeah.
Set one, mate.
Good job.
How you feeling?
Rough.
Too rough?
So rough.
That extra lap makes a bit of a difference from what we were doing a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And the cold weather doesn't help too.
I mean, the air in here just feels super crisp, and I've got you in front of me heating my hands up, so I can only imagine what it feels like.
Yeah, it's not.
Feels like from the front end.
It's not nice on my asthma, that's for sure. But yeah, first little effort of touching a bit of length, so it's definitely one to wake up the system a little bit. So we'll have another 25 minutes of rest, and then up for the second one.
Yeah,
I'm sure it'll be quicker. These
Yeah.
will just get better as the more we do them.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the whole point.
I mean, we usually see when we bring these length efforts back in that let's just get quicker and quicker and quicker, usually like every rep
Yeah.
throughout the weeks. So
Yeah. And I mean, it was pretty clean to start that one too in terms of our line and stuff. So yeah, it'll definitely get better from here.
pretty
but
clean, mate. I feel like you had that dialed. That felt
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Still,
considering
Yeah.
where we've been.
yeah.
If the viewer has tuned into an episode probably 5 weeks ago, you would have
Yeah.
seen where we were in terms of the handling of the bike, which is a measure of both of us on the bike, obviously, and our confidence and everything
Yeah.
like that. It's both of us being confident to enter the bend and really lean into it. And
Yeah. Just trust it.
for a first rep, I'm stoked with that. So
No, that's good. Yeah, they'll get better, they'll get faster. We'll just recover, and then we'll get up and tidied up. I mean, the next one, it may be our last one. It's already 3:20. We finish at 4:00.
I
Unless
would
we're trying
say
to sneak in.
I would say there's two.
I think there's two more to go.
Yeah, I'd say one more really good one. Full noise. Not the first one wasn't, but we'll see that time a bit quicker. And yeah, I think considering some of the other stresses that are going on in the background, to come out and
Yeah.
execute like that, effort one,
Yeah.
I feel really stoked up for
Yeah.
that, because honestly today and the last couple of days have been a bit of a challenge. So to kind of set those emotions aside and come out and do that is
it's
another tick for that self-belief and confidence. So
Definitely.
yeah.
See you in the second one.
All right, see you soon.
It's time.
All right, effort 3 coming up. The show
Yeah.
goes on. Resilience training right here.
The session's
Long
done.
efforts. The air is getting
Cold,
cool
crisp.
as the sun starts to set
Keep painting the picture.
on a fresh day here at the Midvale Speed Dome. We'll go out, rip in.
That's
It's
it.
going to be the fastest. You best believe that.
Last one's the best one, mate.
Training gods do suggest that.
I do suggest that. All right. Oh. All right, let's go.
Yep. All right. All right. Last one. Let's go and get it. That's like seriously wide angle. It's like an album cover from the 90s. And you can see my huge schnoz as well. That's definitely going in the video.
Time and go. Down. Done.
Yeah. Is that? Sorry? Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, be good. Dunskies.
Yeah. The next time we do these, game on.
Game on.
Game on. Time for a disjointed outro like the intro.
A disjointed outro for our post lactic acid brains. But this is my favourite stuff at the end of the session. Usually this is the most profound, whimsical speeches that kind of happen.
Time for the podcast.
Literally a podcast.
Yeah. I mean, legs are feeling pretty full right now after those lengthy efforts. That extra lap, as I said, in the break between the first and the second one, or whenever it was in that haze of lactate brain. It's that extra lap definitely makes a big difference.
It does. It makes a huge difference. I remember the first one, we got to that point and I was like, oh, damn, there's one more to go. And then we were chatting before, we do these in a couple of weeks. We've got an extra lap to do on top of. So those would be very spicy, but it's a future us problem. That's not what we have to worry about right now.
Yeah.
It was a good session. I think it was a good session. There were some positives, a lot of things we can take away that are positive from, as you mentioned before, previous weeks and how things have gone in previous weeks. And in terms of, where we started the session was way ahead of where we've started any session over the last few weeks. And then every effort, again, it continued to get better, but it was still positive from the get-go, which is really good. And something we kind of discussed on the way out here was kind of just trying to closed the week off well, because I kind of, and we've discussed this already, but I've kind of felt this week as a bit of a struggle. This week's been a bit of a grind in terms of just everything, underlying stress, underlying fatigue, us cutting weight as well. So just constantly hungry and a calorie deficit. It's just
Constantly talking about food.
constantly talking about burgers that we can't eat.
Grim.
Very grim. But like, there's just a lot of things kind of going on this week, and I think that's kind of reflective of how we've both been feeling, but also maybe not both acknowledged until really today, I feel like. But it was definitely a good way to finish this week off, and then we could get a bit of a recovery this weekend with a nice easy road ride, and then come back next week and just keep charging on. But I think that's probably been the theme of this week, particularly for me in the gym. Like, gym's been a bit of a struggle this week. Like, it hasn't been great, but again, if we can finish today as we did, there's a lot of positives to take out of that. And as we've kind of always discussed around that self-belief and having the confirmation of those kinds of things, coming out here and doing a session like today just shows that we've still got it. Like, not that we never didn't think we did, but coming out here and doing that 2.5 laps, I didn't really feel like we hit a wall and fell off a cliff in terms of when that lactic acid started to kind of hit. We were recovering pretty quick. So again, those are all positive signs that show for the future. But it's 16 degrees in here and it's cold, and it's stinging my lungs and flared up my asthma a little bit. Turn that around and hopefully, a few months' time, it's a nice balmy 30 degrees and circumstances and situations are a lot different. It's going to have completely different sensations.
Yeah, we're going to get into that with the warmer conditions, and it's going to feel like a completely different bike, completely different track. It's going to, the speed's going to be there, and we're going to get that lift, and it's going to be great.
Most definitely will be. What do you reckon of your week?
I mean, week's been pretty solid, and I think that today's just another example of not letting thoughts, feelings, emotions get in the way of the quality of training. And as soon as we did that first rep, that was the first thing I was thinking about when we got off. It's like, it doesn't really matter how you feel and what you're feeling, you're still able to perform. You can very easily shut your mind down from any of those negative thoughts that are always going to be present when you're doing something at such a high level like what we are, and execute. And I think we did. There's things like going against us in terms of the weather and things like that, but I think that we did the best we could under the conditions today. So
definitely.
Really positive. I think there have been some challenges this week. I think particularly in the last couple of days, like I've noticed just like a little bit of underlying stress with everything happening around selection over the next couple of weeks. Like, you can't help but look ahead, even though we do talk about mindfulness and living in the moment and everything like that. It's something that I practice a lot of. When it's something as big as this, it is really hard not to stay in the moment, and I'm trying to stay grounded with it, but it is very challenging to not look ahead at what's around the corner. But like I said, another example of, you don't have to let those thoughts, feelings, emotions get in the way of what's directly in front of you right now.
No, and that was a good approach you had at the start of the session, where we kind of touched on it, but then we said it's just a start, it's just a couple of laps, it's a couple of efforts, we take it one at a time, and we did, and we got through the session, and we're here now, but also acknowledging the other things that are giving us extra stress as well, because this is episode 8. 8 weeks ago we started this. It seems so far away. Now that time has gone by very quick, that it is getting to crunch time, that it is almost like it is that case of, okay, what does come next? Because I very much operate on having a clear goal. The goal has always been there, but it's not been confirmed, and that is about to happen soon. Like, the confirmation of whether we are or aren't going to be going is in the next few weeks. So it's getting to that crunch point where we still have to come here, show up and do the work. So the fact that we can kind of have a discussion and say, okay, we acknowledge it, we accept it, we put it to the side, we focus on one thing at a time today, one effort, one rep, as we've always said from the get-go. But it still doesn't change the fact that that's still kind of lingering in the back, especially when we do efforts like this where they're hard, they're taxing, a lot of lactic acid. The thought does sometimes come in of like, well, I hope this is not for nothing. Like, it's a lot of pain to be doing all this kind of stuff, and like our ergo sessions during the week sting a little bit too. And that's, those things where they're really hard and challenging physically on the body, there's always that thought of like, well, like, this better be worth it.
Yeah.
Which I know it will in the long run. And regardless of the outcome as well, the process of working through things day to day and becoming better, that is the outcome that is desired, because it's something I've been thinking about recently in terms of, we always work towards something, but we think that thing that we're working towards will give us the satisfaction or the thing that we're trying to chase in terms of feelings, but it's the actual becoming is where you develop those things. So it's the day-to-day, what we're doing on the way to the ultimate outcome is where the growth happens. So yes, it's challenging, yes, it's hard, but at the same time, I wouldn't change it.
Yeah, well, it's just that classic, like, I'll be happy when thing, isn't it? Because it's like, the next thing is like, I'll be happy when I go to the Paralympics.
Yeah.
Right? But then I guarantee you, we get selected and your mentality immediately changes. Okay, what's next? And what's the next I'll be happy when? So it's like, where do you find joy in the moment? And it wraps around to that, like being grounded in the moment. Like one thing that really stood out to me today was we had a full squad here. It was real. The vibe was on. There was a few that stayed behind to watch our last effort, which was huge. We got such an amazing team around us. We got such an amazing squad of people that are all willing for us to succeed. And I'm just like super grateful for that. And I think that being able to get grounded down in the moment and be really aware of those things around you is what really helps you to stay in that moment.
Yeah, and those are the things that we will eventually reflect on down the line and remember and that's the beauty of doing what we're doing now, where we get to document, we get to look back on days like this and the discussions we have, and we remember the things that we went through on the way to whatever it is we're working towards. And I think it's these days, and again, appreciating today's session, like we're here doing something we love, doing something we're passionate about, with good people. There's a lot to take out of that, and that's a lot of positivity. Even this morning in the gym, again, it's the same thing. Like, yes, I said that gym probably wasn't been great this week, but still doesn't take away from the fact that it's still doing something that we enjoy and love every single day. So that in itself is the reward. It's just that underlying stress of the next thing that we're working towards that kind of does add in, that it does take away sometimes from the initial day-to-day. But like you said, to be able to stop and reflect, that's a powerful thing, and I think it's a critical thing.
And very difficult to do in the moment, because you're always going to look back onto the positive thing. An example of that is we did these exact 2.5 lap efforts on the way into Worlds, and you just forget how much they suck. You forget that we did them and they were so brutal. But we did, and I we will only remember the positivity from those sessions, like when we got the green and gold on and did that same session, and when that session where we absolutely nailed it and did a 12.9 lap or something like that, like we were absolutely flying. But you don't remember getting off the bike and rolling around on the floor down in the pits, but you do when you get back to it.
Yeah, exactly right. No, it's all good stuff. But yeah, I guess there's probably, I don't know, it's probably a bit of a good segue into the next bit, and we've kind of mentioned a little bit around selection, that it does happen in the next few weeks. The official team announcement, I believe, is the 23rd of July. So we're currently at a point now where we will find out soon, but we probably can't really film any videos between now and then, because we'll obviously be notified just before then. So yeah, this might be our last video for maybe a couple of weeks. So the next time you potentially see us will either be good news or bad news, but regardless, we will still be here to be open and vulnerable and share the experience. As we've said from the get-go, that is part of what we've been doing, and that's part of everything we've done over the last several weeks. We're doing these videos is being open and honest, and even today, the discussions we've had around the things we've been feeling over this last week, that is an honest account of everything that has been going on. We're not, not putting anything on. We're being true to ourselves, and that was the thing we said from day one is, be open and honest, and that's, I think it's a great thing that we've been able to do, and I'm thankful for that too, and hopefully, I know there's some people that kind of watch these and they appreciate that insight, so I hope you continue to feel that same appreciation, or just the same, I don't know, whatever feelings you have when you kind of hear us discuss our challenges that we have, because again, we're no different than anybody else. Like, yes, we work at a high level, but we're just like you. We have the same struggles, same issues, same problems, same thoughts, feelings, emotions. It's just we have, I guess, different tools to kind of handle those things, which again, us having these discussions hopefully helps you kind of incorporate some of those tools that you can add in your own day-to-day life, that you take some experiences from us to kind of, put into your own situations that may arise. So
I guess like you look at athletes that are at that elite level, and I guess for me in the past, I would have looked at those athletes and thought that they didn't have any of those mental challenges and mental struggles, and that they were super dialed in, everything was sweet. But that's just that's just not the case after experiencing it myself and seeing other people at the elite level now that I'm training amongst that elite level in a high performance center and things like that. So I now look at sport in a very different way, where I see athletes having challenges in whatever sport. And I just now think of, wow, that must be so hard for them. And I think of more of the human element now after experiencing myself and go like, they're just a person at the end of the day. Like an example of that is like the England national team in the Euros last week. They got booed off the pitch. The whole stadium booed them off the pitch after they finished top of their group. And then they come out this weekend and have to back that up. And I'm like, yeah, they're professionals, and yeah, they get paid a lot of money, and a lot more money than what we do. But it's like, for me, I'm like, they're humans, and how hard must that be? Imagine coming onto the track here and performing well and getting booed off the track. It's like, imagine being able to back that up again. So I think just like, I now look at the human element because we're all the same, really.
We are.
Our brains are all wired slightly differently, obviously.
Yeah.
Mine is anyway.
No.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but
No. But yeah, we're all human. We all share the same human experience. We're not different in any other way than anybody else watching the video. An athlete in any other sport, in any other discipline, even if you aren't an athlete, you've got your job, your family, your kids, whatever it is. Like, we are all the same. We all have the same thoughts, feelings, emotions. We just have developed different tools to kind of work through those things. So again, us discussing is a way to kind of share that we are no different, but we also can help in any way that's possible, passing on our experiences and stuff. So I guess that's where potentially going along those kinds of lines. I guess.
You can bring it into land a lot nicer than what I can there.
No, that's all good.
Yeah.
I think that's us done for this.
We'll wrap it up.
Probably part 1 of season 2. I reckon that's it. We'll see you soon.
See you very soon.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Thanks, mate.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.